I need to say that there are some responses to opinions I've already shared myself on my K-pop thoughts videos before, so I'm not really saying anything new for some of them. I wanted to say that and clarify that I'm just resharing the same thoughts for some of the responses I gave because I've already shared these thoughts before in full detail for some of the thoughts, and IDK if there's really a new angle at the moment for me to think about for these opinions in a new light. But if there is, I'll share it within the opinion response.
Don't act like a man, and don't pretend that you know how to love.
First, before I respond, I want to add that I'm responding to this opinion in a way that I understood it, because this opinion is vague and says nothing, and BTS could have actually ruined something in K-pop, but I wouldn't know since the opinion sender never mentioned it. So yeah, don't take my response as a full-on defense of BTS, since I'm only responding in a way that I know of from my K-pop knowledge, and not just being defensive because I'm a BTS stan when I'm not much of a fan at all. I disagree with this take, simply because BTS, despite being worldwidely successful, never did anything that really took a toll to K-pop changing it. Besides maybe groups wanting to be successful like BTS, and maybe some groups who might try to market themselves as the next BTS, but nothing that I've seen besides that give me reason to believe that BTS ruined K-pop. Whenever I see K-pop stans complain about K-pop currently, an example being the music side of things, K-pop stans complain about short songs, lack of bridges, minors debuting more, K-pop being mid and things like these, but these cannot be because of BTS. Since BTS hasn't promoted in recent years due to military service and the members' focus on solo work, and they cannot have been the ones to make that happen even when they were active. Also, I've seen K-pop stans talk about a shift in K-pop after COVID happened, so maybe that could have had a play in these things seen as done more in K-pop, since before COVID and during COVID, these things were not much of an issue I saw being discussed about. Whenever I see K-pop stans currently talk about BTS, it's about how their old music was better than their newer ones. I've never seen BTS being talked about negatively as if they ruined K-pop. Plus, if you think BTS ruined K-pop, I want to know what exactly did they ruin, since your opinion only mentions them ruining K-pop and never giving a reason why, and it's vague. And plus, as I mentioned above about the things K-pop stans complain about for K-pop, that I feel like are just trends that happen within K-pop because K-pop changes constantly and new things become popular while old things start fading out. If there's something to actually ruin K-pop, it's things that get popular without BTS popularizing them, because again BTS have never been active as a group currently to make whatever things K-pop stans complain about more popular, to be done to equate that BTS ruined K-pop. I agree, and it's so true. And I'm also gonna bring in a point from my previous K-pop thoughts video released before this if you haven't watched it yet. So, for example, people talked about NewJeans' Cookie being inappropriate sung by minors, people talked about Fever being inappropriate too for Enhypen, but I never saw people actually want to take action by saying, I will stop supporting them by not promoting them much on my channel and will stop streaming them. I will only promote them if I have to, because despite me seeing so many K-tubers talk about problematic groups either in an opinions video where many K-tubers are talking about NewJeans and Min Hee-jin, or Tarzan and cultural appropriation, or Kiss of Life being in the wrong for racism, or even with K-tubers making their 100th commentary video update on NewJeans and Min Hee-jin, I never see anyone taking a stand to not support them anymore. Maybe they do, but I've never seen them. And as I said in my previous thoughts video, in different words, people make these videos on these groups and idols and talk about fan support, despite this, but isn't the K-tuber also indirectly supporting the idol/group by making these commentary videos or opinions on them, adding their video in the background too, which making these thoughts on them isn't bad at all. But if you're going to be saying the same repeated words other K-tubers have already said, you're not adding anything new and you give them support, keeping them relevant. Also with K-tubers talking about idols/groups and cultural appropriation but bringing up the same few points every time an idol/group is added to the cultural appropriation list isn't really doing much. You guys as K-tubers trying to act like, oh, I'm reporting on this because it's horrible what they've done, might seem that way on the surface, but are you really reporting on this by continuing to talk about these idols in the most top of the iceberg way without providing any real commentary that won't be said many times by someone else? Also, this again just shows how you're supporting them more by keeping them relevant instead of actually keeping your mouth shut if you don't like what they did. You're supporting them no matter what. Also, on the other hand, to the K-pop fans who support these groups no matter what, don't think I've forgotten about you, because y'all are horrible too. I've never witnessed you guys firsthand, but I've seen other K-tubers talk about it, and it's so annoying to see how people support racist and problematic groups no matter what instead of holding them accountable for what they did. If you're a K-pop stan, defending these idols despite them doing these horrible things is fucked up, considering you're literally giving them a pass for what they did, and if they're not called out on it, they will not learn anything and will think it's okay to do so and might do it again in the future. Also, even if they do get called out and do apologize, if you're not a part of the affected community, if it's an idol or group being racist for example, you shouldn't accept their apology and continue supporting them, being like, they apologized, because 1. You weren't affected, so you have no right to give them a pass because they apologized, and 2. You weren't affected, and if you see their apology and think, they apologized, that's great, then you can't say that, considering you don't know if the group or idol actually gave an apology that is real and honest, or just gave another apology that feels like the same circulated apology you can probably get from ChatGPT if you put in the right keywords and instructions. It's annoying when you guys defend idols and continue supporting them as if what they did isn't a big deal. Take racism and cultural appropriation for example. It continues to happen in K-pop and it won't go away, and we need to take a stand against issues like these and stop defending our faves as if we know them personally when they're just people doing their job and singing/dancing/rapping etc. to make bank. We shouldn't need to defend them when they're strangers to us, even when we meet them via fan calls for example. That is not a real person we're talking to, because these idols are talking to many fans in these fan calls, and the few minutes we get with the idol aren't enough for us to know the idol properly, and plus the idol is putting on a persona to come off as nice as possible when the idol may not even want to be there for the fan call. These groups and idols aren't all good people. It's sad that people will always support racist/problematic groups, because some of these people's support for the group come from the groups having hot members which the K-pop fans simp over, which is weird. Like girly pop, stop it. Go touch some grass.
Take me to the moonlight. I've been waiting for this moment.
This is a 100% agree for me. Also, I always clarify this to not bring any unnecessary hatred to people, but this is directed towards the cry-baby complainy tantrum throwing K-pop stans and not the people who actually have a valid take on why they say the things they say to give us a reason to listen to them, because I see K-pop stans complain so much about K-pop being mid, K-pop not being about the music anymore, and such drags about the music, which annoys me so much, because like, are you actually here because you like K-pop or not? You're always crying about so many different K-pop things that you could easily solve by searching up more songs and artists. You cry about so many different K-pop things, like for example songs being short, and instead of going to find songs that are long, you complain one day, and the next day you're here over streaming the same groups that made you say K-pop songs are short in the first place. Like, you guys just cry and complain for attention so people can agree with you and give you views, likes, or whatever depending on the platform you say these things on. You don't actually like music if you're here complaining about every little thing that has a solution and just finding enjoyment in K-pop. Me as a K-pop stan find so much enjoyment in K-pop just by checking out different releases that happen within K-pop, and I find so many fitting to my taste songs that don't make me hate K-pop at all, because I can always find music that I like, so why can't you? If you don't like K-pop because of all these problems, then you can leave and listen to some other Asian music or listen to some Western music industry or music from another continent. Unless your complaints are valid, you're not here for the music. Also, on the other hand, fans actually don't like K-pop if they're here to just stream their faves. I understand fans exist who listen to the song, like it, and stream their faves because they want the song to get more streams and views and more noticeability, but to the other fans, you're not here for the music. You're here to stream your faves' comebacks for the numbers. You're here to listen to the song 10,000 times not because you like it and have an obsession, but because you want the song to be at a certain position within certain hours of its release. And on the other hand, there are also K-pop stans who hate on other groups to uplift their faves, especially if the hate they use is to attack another one's fame or to call them a flop. Also, on the other hand, fans who force themselves to like their faves' discography and are not genuinely listening to the music as listeners, and only like all the songs of their faves due to the fans need to support everything their faves do without trying to have taste, likes and dislikes. Another on the other hand is fans who just listen to nuga groups to feel cool or quirky and don't have any actual love for them. With also fans existing who only listen to the top groups and their tastes are what's popular, and these people are ones who don't want to explore. So yeah, in the end there's so many types of fans existing that give me plenty of reasons to agree with this opinion that I've talked about before, and some others may have said it too.
Your skin. Ooh, you drew me right into you.
IDK if I've understood this opinion correctly, but I've tried to respond it in the way that I understood. Well, before in months that have passed I would have half agreed and half disagreed, but now currently as I write this response I'm thinking about it and I agree wholeheartedly with the opinion sent, and here's why. The thing is, before I never hated when if it's an AI cover of a voice used in a song that is wholesome, sweet and lovely, or songs that are just regular music, but currently it made me think that even if the content the voice is being used in is harmless, you're still using that singer's voice in an AI cover, trying to replicate the singer's voice without ever having their permission and them also probably being singers against AI. You're taking their voices without their consent. It's wrong. Plus, it's also wrong to make AI covers of artists who, for example, are not black at all, they're other skin colors, and then you make an AI cover of an artist singing a song where the original song has the N-word in it, and the AI idol cover has them saying the N-word fully, and people might look at that and take that as fact if the original mentions it's an AI cover. But some other fan takes the AI cover and uses it as this idol said the N-word, to make it look like the idol said the N-word, like how idols have N-word scandals, which is wrong because fans are gullible and take everything as fact even if it's fake, since they don't fact check. Also, it could be bad in the context of K-pop stans making minors AI covers sing sexually explicit songs, which makes me wonder, do people actually care for the safety of minors in this context, because y'all scream about minors and then go around to do this, which is disgusting and fake and performative if y'all do. I've always thought making AI covers was cool before, and I wanted to make some for singers singing my favorite unknown songs, but I don't want to do it now. If you do make AI covers, think about the artist, because their voice is being used in fake contexts.
This is a love day. Oh. This is a love day.
That's a hard agree. Because just because a problematic idol has shown their support for a good cause doesn't mean we forget the bad things they've done in the past. Like for example, BM has supported Palestine, but he also said the N-word. Are we gonna forget that he said the N-word just because he supports Palestine? For a problematic idol in general, to do good will show that people will put so much emphasis on the good, that the bad gets overshadowed by the good. People might even use this in defense of an idol as well to attack other fans when fans try to bring up the problematic idol's bad side. People need to understand that we need to hold problematic idols accountable even after they do good, so we don't start supporting the idol just because they genuinely show that they have a heart when earlier a bad thing they did showed that they didn't have a heart at all. Acknowledging the idol did good is fine, but we should not put them on a pedestal after their one good deed, acting like they may have turned a new leaf and won't do wrong again, when this idol may have done multiple controversial things in the past, and might definitely do controversial things after their genuine speaking up on Palestine. Again, idols are strangers we don't know. They're just people who perform their songs for us, and we stan them if we like their music.
I'm putting down the final flag.
I don't know what this opinion is in the context of, but I'll react to it anyways in a general K-pop context of everything. It's an agreeable take sent that not everything is gnarly. Just look at Blackpink's songs. We have Blinks hyping up every time Blackpink releases a song as if it's a masterpiece, when besides maybe Lovesick Girls, their title tracks after DDU Do have been DDU Do 2.0s with the same type of structures, talking about the title tracks here and not B-sides. Another example would be that so many other things get hyped up by K-pop stans too, especially when K-tubers talk about certain groups being the best in something, or certain idols being vocally good, or people saying certain idols' talents are underrated and that they should be in the list of X thing amongst others. An example would be an idol's vocals are underrated and fans thinking this particular idol's vocals doesn't get talked about enough in categories relating to vocally good idols, and things like these that people say. We don't know if these things they say are actually true, or just personal opinions where fans just say these things but objectively they're not really that good, the group or the idol. We have to accept that mid things exist considering not everything is amazing and out of this world, and we might think so but that's just our opinion and not a factual thing that everyone can agree on. It's not wrong to see the mid things in life because we need a balance of good and bad. Also, mid shouldn't be seen as hate, because sometimes things are mid, music, groups, talents etc., but if those things are worked on more, they could be amazing. Like if a song is mid, it could be better if it was worked on more, adding a bit more flavor and then it wouldn't be as mid as people think it is. Mid is basic, and if people try to go beyond basic without overdoing it, it could be gnarly. Another thing is that if someone says an idol's talent or a group's song is mid, you don't need to take it to heart because it's most probably said in an opinions video where these things said are opinions, not factual war tearing down nations. I do agree with this. Why? Because fans are disgusting, that's why. These fans ship two idols together who may be the closest friends in the group. Like for example you as a person having a whole friend group, but then you have even closer friends with 1 to 2 people in the friend group. It's the same with idols. In groups where idols are all actually friends, but 2 members in the group might be best friends or even more closer like brothers, and here you are shipping them together for your own sick fantasy. Do you know how gross that is? You're literally here shipping 2 idols who are close like friends, and you as a fan must be looking at different interactions with the 2 and then seeing some bonding moment between them and fetishizing it like they're lovey-dovey for your sick pleasure. What's worse is shipping 2 idols together who speak English and they probably read the shipping things which you probably post online, and it makes their interactions as friends awkward, because they now know, after reading those shipping things, that certain fans see them in a lovey-dovey couple way which the idols cannot unsee, and so their interactions as friends changes because they know that now they would have to monitor what they do online, on live streams, TikTok content videos and other such things, or maybe if they posted a lot of pictures of themselves because they're the closest in the group, now they post less photos together simply because they don't want to get caught in a moment that becomes another moment for fans to ship them. These fans basically just ruin friendships by shipping idols together who are just bros, like stop. These are human beings, and what if once the group disbands and everyone goes their separate ways, these idols who were shipped together never speak again and they only faked it for the group they were in? You just made 2 close people who had so much fun together, even more than with the other members, drift apart simply due to you who can't stop drooling at the thought of the 2 together because your fantasies are fucked up.
Spend all day dreaming how what we do when we're together, how good we're together, how good. Spend all that miss.
I half agree, half disagree with this one. I've always held the belief that writing fanfiction is fine as long as it stays within the bounds of legal, safe and good stories. Like for example if you're writing about a K-pop idol who gets bit by an unknown insect and gets superpowers, or a K-pop group gets teleported into a TV show like Avatar: The Last Airbender and they get bending powers, those are some nice stories that I wouldn't mind seeing. But when fanfiction gets weird and crosses the line is with things like, with the shipping thought, shipping idols together and also making explicit sexual content in the fanfiction involving 2 or more idols doing sexual acts, or maybe making explicit sex fanfictions involving minors, or making content where the idol is abusive, a bully, committing SA or other serious and/or violent topics. Writing fanfiction isn't weird, yes, but there are messed up in the head fans who write disturbing fanfictions that make you want to report them to the police, and this is why I half disagree with the opinion, because there are fans who make writing fanfictions weird, and not weird in the cringy sense but weird in the horrific sense. Fanfiction is okay to write, but not everyone is in their right minds to write it. When these people who make disgusting fanfictions think it's okay to write fanfictions on these topics and upload them like it's nothing or it's creativity. Girl, these are real people y'all are putting in these situations, making them act in these messed up ways. It's not right to do these things. It's like with the thought about AI covers, you're using the idol here without their consent to put them in these disgusting situations, portraying them as people they don't act like in real life. Y'all need to seek help. I disagree mainly because I know that whoever sent this opinion focuses mainly on the top groups and popular artists, and that too, mainly at title tracks, singles, or B-sides that become popular and get MVs. People who say things like these only be looking at the places that disappoint them, and that is mainly the bigger groups and artists giving them a reason to be disappointed, and then they say things like these without a reasoning why, for me to understand why they say so. 2025 songs are not way too short with too many English lyrics, because even if you're looking at just popular groups and artists only, are you looking at the B-sides as well? Because Ash by Les Seraphim is a perfect example of a song that is 3 minutes 17 seconds total, which may not be super long, but it's longer than some songs that barely pass 2 minutes to reach 3 minutes, and also the song, if you look at the lyrics, it has a perfect mix of Korean and English lyrics. You can find something long in the length with popular artists and even find more Korean than English in songs, or even Korean/English 50-50 mixed songs in the B-sides of these albums, and if you don't find anything, there's always looking at Nugus/unpopular artists, because they'll definitely give you something that would make you say otherwise. Even for the hard-hitting instrumentals bit. You can find something if you dig deep and look harder. You seeing 2025 songs this way, is not actually you seeing 2025 songs this way in reality, considering when you're saying this, you mean a handful of 2025 songs by the big names who release a song and it will of course get popular because they're popular, so how are you gonna find something good amongst these artists? Where these artists are probably following trends for TikTok dance challenges or virality or something? You can't sit here and send this opinion, but you're not exploring more and listening to the same artists who you know will make you disappointed because of their status. You need to find the music. These artists are not gonna give you what you want. What you say in the opinion does exist, but you can find the solution which exists. You're just not looking, and that's why you say this. I agree with the part of it only being K-pop that made it popular, because do you think it would have been popular if they used some other less popular Asian market like T-pop, which is Thai pop, or Q-pop, which is Kazakhstani pop? Not really, because slap K-pop to anything and you'll get people watching because K-pop is so popular as an Asian music. But on the other hand, I also disagree with the K-pop part of the opinion, since there was nothing K-pop to begin with, because the songs are mostly in English with little to no Korean, which what makes it K-pop in this instance if there is literally no Korean lyrics. The only thing that could be even slightly K-pop about the movie is the cast because of them having Koreans who voice act, but besides that the movie is in English, the songs are in English. Might as well call it Western Pop Demon Hunters at this point, because there's nothing remotely K-pop about the movie, just a false name to get K-pop stans to invest their time in the movie and obsess over the characters and songs because they don't care and will eat up anything K-pop related. K-pop is Korean pop. If the music has no Korean or just 1 to 2 lines in Korean with the rest of it in English, what's left for it to be K-pop? Nothing really. I would understand if K-pop Demon Hunters had mostly English lyric music. If it was a K-pop inspired movie, then it would make more sense, but it doesn't. This wasn't really a K-pop Demon Hunters, and that's why I never cared about it or watched it yet or invested my time in the songs, because it's just bad. And now I think more movies are coming out for K-pop demon hunters, which would mean more songs and more K-pop pretend for the music, because the Korean disappeared. Might as well make music in Spanish or Greek for the movie and call those K-pop as well, right? Just use any language and market it as K-pop. It doesn't matter anymore.